Okay, our next subject is going to be the Inside Out playset. So this is a rather cool looking item because I think this is one of the most interesting things with sort of Disney Infinity 3.0 as an overall thing. So again, we got an official press release, we got some official images, we got some figure information, and again, they played through it on Toybox TV Live. So your first initial impressions of Inside Out?
Now, see, for me, my first initial impressions, I was on the fence. I wasn't sure if I was liking this. I figured, we were getting a play set, and I expected it to be all 3D, but, it was going to be side-scroller, platform, and a puzzle game. So I was kind of like on the fence on it. There wasn't going to be much combat or anything. But I think it wasn't until I did see like full gameplay through the Twitch, not even the gameplay videos that you saw online on other sites. Once I saw it on Twitch, I definitely was more on for it. I do like the fact that there are 3D levels, there are side-scroller levels, but they have added so many elements to it. You have obviously total, I believe they said 25 levels.
Over 25 levels.
Yeah, and there's elements that in order for you to get past it, you do need. You don't need to, but you definitely can make use of all the figures' different abilities to get through certain parts in these games. But no, I'm excited for this. It's definitely something new, not used to it. Obviously, any of the playsets we've had in the past have not looked like this before. This was one of the Avalanche only projects, not one of the developers worked on it. So I don't know. I am excited to try it out. But anyways, my initial thought was on the fence. Just to answer your question.
Yeah, see, I went kind of the opposite thought because to me it was about this representing an entirely different side of Disney Infinity 3.0. This was about representing the Disney side, and it's about the family, and it's the exact opposite of everything that we'd seen with Marvel and Star Wars. It is the polar opposite. It is about there is no combat. You are running around. And also Inside Out is a very different kind of movie because it's about emotions and you're in a brain. And I'm watching that and I'm watching the 2D side-scrolling stuff, and I'm just going, this looks amazing because to have proper 2D sort of side-scrolling content within 2.0, because we've been doing lots of toy boxes and stuff, but it's always a little bit wonky if you get stuck behind the invisible wall and stuff. But it was just like, that looked amazing. And I'm really hoping that some of those toys for setting that up will be there to make a lot more better side-scrolling games. But I just thought it looked cool the way you could jump between the characters to grab different things, and they've got different ways of getting through that sort of levels. They definitely sort of seem to have thought more about using the characters a little bit more stronger. I liked how, by saying it's like over 25 levels, it's made it nice and small, and you want to run through and do it to get more points. You run through it to do it faster, and there's just thought about it very differently. It's a very different kind of playset.
That's one of the things, obviously when I was the whole initial impression, that's one of the things that I did like. The fact that there's a time element or a collection element, because a lot of people complain about, it's going to be like 4 to 6 hours of gameplay. If you're adding a collecting an item element or collecting balloons or even a timed level challenge, that's going to be hours and hours of extra added gameplay. So that's going to be awesome.
I think Rob over at Coin Up TV, he said that this playset, he's been told it was 9 hours gameplay. And if that's just what they would call the initial kind of thing, it sounds like because of the levels and replayability, and there's also a different co-op that they're doing with this one. It's not split screen on the playset. If you're doing them, you're actually on the same screen at the same time, jumping around. Different thing entirely than you were used to.
No, yeah, it's going to be, like I said, something new, something for people to try out, and like you said, it's definitely more family friendly because there's not as much combat. But it's I don't know. I want to try it out just so I can be 100% sold.
I think as well with the combat side of things. I think they can throw emotion balls at people. So I'm guessing it's basically like a Pixar ball kind of round 2 or round 3. I should say.
Well, obviously we'll get into it in the Twitch thing, but what I got from that was they all have this similar ranged attack, which is throwing
Yeah,
the memory orbs.
yeah,
Obviously their colors correspond to themselves, but all their melee is very unique.
yeah.
So at least you'll have that.
No, I must admit, but also, like, for example, here in the UK, you can buy the software disc without having to buy the starter pack. So if you don't like Star Wars, you can go buy the disc and or you can do the digital download anywhere. Just go out and buy the display set, and you don't have to worry about the Star Wars stuff if you're not interested. And also, it goes the other way of Star Wars. If you're into Star Wars and Marvel and you don't care about Inside Out, you don't have to buy it. It's completely there for you to go for it. And because I think 3.0 is being very much advertised from the offset that it's Disney Infinity 3.0, there's no taglines, there's no, while it is still very Star Wars heavy, they aren't pushing it. And I think this is why we've seen this Inside Out information so early. And I think it will be available at launch as well. I think they've even said that.
Yeah, I think these two will be the predominant launch playsets. So yeah,
it makes sense as well because if they're going to do sort of Star Wars, Twilight of the Republic, and this as their initial playsets, I think that will work quite well. So just here, looking at the official description, it says it's a cooperative puzzle-solving platformer inspired by the new Pixar movie. While Riley's mind becomes trouble, it's up to her emotions to work together to help her. Together, joy, fear, anger, disgust, and sadness must use their unique skills in over 25 level, defeat a semi-conscious swamp monsters, outwit mind workers, collect memories, and navigate the ever-changing landscape of the Imagination Land. Step inside headquarters and help the crew on emotions. Now, this is a direct sequel to the movie. This is not a retelling of the movie. It's entirely different and new, which is pretty cool. So there's some official images here. So here we've got them all jumping on these clouds in this image. So you can see there we've got no discuss. You obviously didn't fancy going on this trip.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah.
see the buttons for the flowers in the background here.
Yeah,
that looks pretty cool. And let's bring up some more images. Okay, so here we've got another image here of sort of discussed, and then you've got these new balloons. Now I can't wait to have the balloons, and I also think the orbs as new collectibles. You know,
there's one more thing that they're showing in this image that's very awesome is that there's this feature that causes you to flip upside down and your world is upside down. So while you're playing co-op, on certain levels, one of you will be on the top side while the other one's collecting stuff on the bottom side. So it's kind of interesting.
And it's also unique to the playset because you're not going to be able to recreate this in the toy box. It only is going to be available within this playset.
That's really interesting.
You're going to be able to there's all kinds of things like broccoli, pie cannons, bats, and swamp creatures.
They had like a bowl also on the Twitch feed. This bowl enemy.
Yeah, so
that looks like one of the side scroll.
See, I'm a big kid of the '80s. Side scrolling to me is video games. That's where it all started. Super Mario and Sonic the Hedgehog. Those were the games I played when I was a kid, and for me 2D scrolling games are what I love. You just can't get, it's something so simple, but it works perfectly when done good. So I am to see proper 2D side scrolling. I'm excited about that. So this playset for me is a must have for that reason. Okay, so there's 3 different game modes, including a twist on traditional platforming, clouds, which fade and emit lighting. There's musical platforms, gravity barriers, which is that thing that we were just mentioning, and also the difference to use the different characters. So Joy is a ray of light-hearted, optimistic sunshine that brings cheer to everyone. She can glide across gaps that the others can't overcome. She looks like she's kind of got a little bit floating options.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah. So Fear is a bundle of nerves and is a fast runner. He can cross bridges and platforms before they collapse. He's the fastest of all of the characters.
Yeah.
So that's his main thing, is that he can sort of run really fast. Anger is a hot-headed powerhouse who can cross beds of hot lava with ease. I saw again he could walk around on these lava bits and collect collectibles that only he can get. which is kind of, this is the thing of, with the first time we've really seen this in in Infinity, where different characters can only get them. We've had those little boxes that were specifically for Marvel characters. You had to have that specific move set, but this is a real kind of character only way of getting to that one there. He's the only one that's going to be able to get to that section.
It does have a slight Skylander feel if you think about it.
Yeah, I actually had that same thought really. It definitely has much more sort of Skylandery, kind of using the toys a little bit more.
Yeah.
Disgust is always disgusted. She repels off Cloud by letting her high jump. She can jump higher than anybody else.
Yeah.
And then Sadness is, she's a worrisome friend, turns waves of sadness into fun and can travel on clouds without them fading beneath her. So they've all got a completely different move set when they're in the play set, and they can all do stuff that the other characters can't. And so I think there's going to be a lot more flipping and switching when you're playing with these ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can see lots of arguments between two kids trying to play and wanting the same characters. So they're all going to be available within 3.0, so they can all be used within Star Wars, Marvel, and Disney-themed locations and props. Additional figures and playsets will be announced in coming months. Digital 3.0 is also being developed by lots of other ones. Rated and is available this fall. So yeah, so that is that. And let's have a quick look here at the... where's it gone? No, wrong one. I'll try and find what I was looking for. Yeah, so I think in general, I mean, with sort of Disney Infinity, it really kind of, it's like we keep saying, they are definitely looking at creating a content that's for everybody. And I think,
yeah, Inside Out is definitely, like we've said already, it's definitely the family playset. It's definitely one that, I mean, not that Star Wars won't be, but I mean, as far as, you have people who don't like combat games, and stuff like that. So this is a cool little puzzler game that you can play together with other friends and family. So
yeah, and I think as well it is once this movie comes out and it's been getting some rave reviews, I think we're going to see a bit more. So here are some look at some of the characters. So we've got Anger here. Now, quick note to say, these orbs, there's a little hole in the bottom of the figure. So when you place them on the Infinity base, they light up, the light underneath, so you'll actually be able to see them glowing, a bit like you said, the wisps from Merida in the first game, on the second game.
That's correct, yeah.
So Anger, again, I just love it. I just don't. It's just pure rage in a tie.
Yeah, he looks awesome. Yeah. I wouldn't mind having duplicates of him.
Yeah, he's going to be in the actual play set, so everyone's going to have him. And got Disgust. She looks so impressed, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, she's honestly, she looks like she's fed up with us talking.
Yeah, really.
She's so disgusted.
Yeah, I'm like, whatever. I so can't wait for this. Oh
God, move on.
And then we have Fear. He just looks. He's got a real kind of look of like.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more concerned with Fear, though. I'm just worried that, parents watch their kids because I feel like they're going to pull his hair off, that little strand in the back. Yeah. I think it's like his ponytail or something, or his hair strand.
And we have Joy.
She looks great. She's so impressive.
Yeah. And then we have Sadness. He just looks so, just like, She
looks adorable.
Aww.
She's sad, but she looks cute.
Yeah. So yes,
they're a cool set of figures. I really like this set. It's definitely
So Joy is also in. She is also in the in the playset piece, and the other three will be available separately.
Now, I mean, going off on a little bit, just a slight tangent, and starting a speculation round or whatever, but just how other playsets usually they announce their 5 figures, and later on they announce, oh, here's an additional figure for that playset. I would be really happy if they introduced Bing Bong to this playset. That would be really cool. But for those who aren't familiar with Bing Bong, it's one of Riley's imaginary friends, and it's a hybrid of a cat, elephant, and cotton candy. So you're gonna love them in the game. In the movie. And also, if you go to the Disney store, which we talked about earlier, just pick one up. He smells like cotton candy. But anyways,
I think it's that thing of I thought that this year's release of Ronan, Green Goblin, and Loki being after all the playsets came out. I like that. I thought that worked well. I've liked having figures the following year. I liked having the villains in there. So I am actually hoping that does happen, and we might see like a range of villains all coming out in 2016 like they did before. I just think that would be great.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I wouldn't mind it being Bond figure.
No, that's cool. Right. Okay. Anything else you want to add on Inside Out?
Again, I guess we'll just tap into the Twitch feed because there's so much information on both of these games there. So
okay, cool. That's fine. Okay.